Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday. It is Friday, and we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening in true crime. So I thought we're going to hang out and just talk about it all. There are some cases that I wanted to do lives about, anyways, to try to get some attention to. There are just a lot of things happening. So I thought we would just hang out and kind of go through it all. But let me say hello to you guys. Hey, Neat Noodle. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Mayla's mom. Rexy, Tony, Teacup. Hey, Chase. Preschool Granny, Adrian. Sexy Wild Thing, McLovin, freaking Papa, Elvis Claus. Lil Red, Love is the Key. Hey, Sarah. Michelle, I don't know if I already said hello, Michelle, but if I didn't, hello. And if I did, hello twice. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Sue. Rainbow Mom. Thank you guys for being here. Preschool Granny. Risk Offending. Little Red. Rainbow Mom. I know I said you. Crystal. Anybody I missed, hello. I know some people are like annoyed with the hellos, but that's okay. They just have to be annoyed because I enjoy seeing you guys and I want to say hello. So, hey, Roxanne. Hey, Selena. So I don't know. I thought we might start with Riley strain. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. Riley strain has been found. I think that's unfortunate. I want to talk also about the misinformation, and I mean it's some days I don't know. I just don't know if I belong here in true crime, and then some days I know that I do. But not only with that case, I watched it live this morning on Jones's channel, and it was about Sebastian Rogers and some interviews that have been happening with the parents. It blew me away. So I want to talk about that. Chad Daybell has been moved to Ada County Jail because he's about to start trial. I want to talk about that. I got a bunch of stuff we're going to go through. So that's the plan. It's funny when you say hello to duplications. I know, Cray. Hey, by the way. Hey, Shaq, though. I like how personable you, MJ, and Bindi are. That's why I come. Too big, I lose interest, I think. That makes sense. I know what you mean. I think it's hard when it's like a super big chat to really like have conversation. I don't know. It makes it difficult with so many people in there. It is so sad. I mean, just so sad that as soon as I heard it, my heart was just broken. Let me pull up an article. So we'll start with Riley. Just the thought of him intoxicated, and I mean, I just think about, did he even realize that it was his last moments when it was that kind of thing? It's just devastating. So police find Missouri student Riley Strain's body in Tennessee River. No foul play suspected. 22 years old. So Riley Strain, a University of Missouri student who went missing in Tennessee's capital for nearly 2 weeks, has been found deceased in a river, police announced Friday. No foul play is suspected, investigators said. Metro Nashville police officials confirmed that his body had been recovered from the Cumberland River, approximately 8 miles west of downtown, at around 7:30 a.m. Police Chief John Drake told reporters that workers on the river initially found Strain's body and alerted authorities. Medical examiners later confirmed it was Strain, he said, adding that an autopsy will be conducted later Friday. I mean, absolutely devastating. I'm not going to read through this whole interview because I want to show you guys a couple things. So first, I thought this was kind of interesting in the group. And this is just, people in the group talking. But they shared this video, and it says, "This is a vantage point I took from the water while on a river search with the United Cajun Navy." Remember, they joined in on this search. "You can see the steep cliff underneath the James Robertson Parkway Bridge where Riley was about last seen. If he did fall from the bridge, although that has not specifically been confirmed by police, only there's no foul play, you can see how he would have potentially slipped over or under or over that fence, which is not a very secure fence, and then down along that steep walk / embank. It's also where his debit card was found." Let me show you. Did I cut out? Let's see. Because I just got a thing on the bottom of my... Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Mia. pointer lover. Hey, Snagglepuss. Tess. I kind of thought that's what happened. I'm heartbroken for the family too. Never let your friend leave the bar alone. Exactly. I mean, it's just sad because it could have been prevented. Let me look. I just saw you guys say something about Jen Soto. I'll check really fast on Twitter. But I do have the press conference, or, we're going to watch a video. So is it this fence right here that they're referring to? I mean, oh my God, it is just so sad. Always use the buddy system. Hey, Eris. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you so much. Oh, Eris, I hadn't seen that. If you just fell in, how did someone get a shirt? I honestly don't know. I don't know. But they, no foul play. Let's just watch this and I'll look for that update while we do.
This morning we have a unfortunate update for you on the Riley Strange search. Chief John Drake, Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, will be speaking with you. Chief Drake.
Thank you, Don.
He was fully
good morning,
clothed.
everyone. This morning around 7:28 a.m., we received a call from a worker.
Okay. He still had his shirt on when they found him. He had his shirt on. Riley was wearing his shirt. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I listened to this when I saved it, but I was doing a million things and trying to gather everything we were going to talk about. Another thing I didn't mention at the beginning, I want to touch on if we can, is Ruby Frank. A lot of the interviews and things are coming out with that, and I started to watch some of that, and I grabbed some links, so we might get into that in a second. But let's hear this, and then we'll continue. But thank you guys for correcting that.
On 61st Avenue at a company that adjoins the Cumberland River that had been searching for anything that would pop up on the river, especially looking for Riley Strain if he would surface here. As they were moving an object from the river, they noticed what appeared to be Riley Strain.
I don't see anything about that, you guys.
Fire department was called in, retrieved the body from the river. The medical examiner's office reviewed the body, and we confirmed that it is Riley Strain. The family has been contacted. There are no signs of foul play at this time, according to the examination here at the riverbank. Mr. Strain still had the shirt on that he was wearing.
No sounds of foul play, and Mr. Strain still had the shirt on. But you know what? This case, it got very popular. Like, you start to feel like there's like so many people talking about something you don't want to add to the chaos. But it seems like every time a case gets like that, the misinformation and the conspiracy theorists and the TikTokers and, I don't know. It's like, do these people even realize that this is real fucking life? These are real humans. This is a 22-year-old kid who has a family. I mean, they're acting like they're on some, like, I don't know. I don't like it. It's really unfortunate.
So they had to watch and other identifying factors that helped us
identify
who he is. I want to say to the family, my heart and prayers go out to you all for this very unfortunate and tragic incident. I also want to say thank you to the Nashville community and the Outpoint community of the outpouring support from the community in trying to help us locate Mr. Strain. I also want to say thank you to our USAR team and to the fire department and OEM and TWRA and everyone else and including the media for everything that you've done, for the countless tips that came in. We received nearly 200.
All these people see is, oh my God, I can get views from this. I can grow from this. And we saw it with Madeline Soto too. And I'm going to touch with, there's some things going around that have not came from police. I don't believe that it's true, and it's unfortunate because these people, use these things as their titles or on their thumbnails. And I don't know. It's like, I don't even have the words.
Tips as of yesterday that we were
to be
getting
honest.
out. So at this time, the family's been notified. There would be an autopsy, more than likely sometime today, and we'll have a little bit further from that point. So thank you.
Chief, can you tell us, is there any other additional evidence that points you to the theory that it seems like you've been going after for a while now? It's just that he fell into the river accidentally?
Yeah, there's no other evidence that suggests anything other than we have reports that normally.
So no other evidence that suggests anything else. And I remember it just hit me earlier when I heard this, and he said the autopsy will be completed today. Probably by this point, they have an idea of what happened now as far as blood work and stuff like that. Of course, they probably don't have that. But I mean, there are tests they can do that are pretty quick with even that stuff. I think the final toxicology screenings, they take several weeks. However, there are other tests and things that can be done to kind of see what happened. And I'd say by now at 5:15, they have a better idea, which seems like it's really fast, but
under these circumstances with his height and weight, that he could have surfaced between 14 and 20 days. This is the 14th day, so we were really expecting anytime soon to find it. In fact, our search teams was going to put in the water here this morning and then search from this point further down.
I know, Jordan.
So we were in the right spot. It's just unfortunate, but there's nothing to suggest anything other than any foul play.
There is nothing to suggest anything. I mean, he has said that time after time after time, but Jordan says people were actually going to the homeless camps. Tess says it's incredibly ridiculous that certain creators were live all day long the last 48 hours hunting for the homeless man who stole the shirt. Total bullshit. And will they apologize for lying? Nope. That's what I'm saying. These are real people. It's like just so, and that's with the live I wanted to bring up with you guys from Jones and concerning Sebastian Rogers. Now that's another one. I've talked about it briefly. I have not done like intense coverage on that one. It wasn't getting a lot of coverage. And then, now it is. I think there's a lot of people talking about it. However, the rumors and the accusations, and like, I totally get what people might be suspicious or have questions, but at the end of the day, we got to stop like attacking the families of these people until we know. And I say I don't do that shit, but I just, I don't know, man. Okay, let's keep listening for another minute or two.
Yes, that's so the workers typically on the river, whether it's barge companies, concrete companies, other businesses that actually are on the river, and they look routinely. It's happened countless times before. And as they moved, I believe, a barge, and don't quote me on that, they removed something from the river.
Okay, so Bieber says, I'm going to be 100% honest. It is nobody's fault. It was an accident, in my opinion, and it could easily happen to anybody downtown Nashville partying. It can happen in any big city. Well, here's the thing. I agree with you. I mean, it could have happened to me a million times. I know my ass was out there acting a straight fool at 22 years old. And it could have easily been me to do something like this. I don't know. It's just, it sucks because it could have been prevented. Even when it comes to like, him leaving the bar and stuff like that. And I won't get into all of that, but I just think that, looking back, I guess hindsight is 2020, and you see things that should have been done differently,
And as they moved it, they noticed Mr. Strain, so and called it in.
Typically work on the water. They weren't necessarily search crews.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll show you again where he potentially could have fallen from, someone that was there, but we just don't know. Bieber says, that Sebastian case infuriates me, the way these creators are talking about these parents like he's still missing, and the police said everybody's cooperating, like why spin narratives? Well, my thing is this, even if you think somebody's suspicious, just because you think, first of all, who the hell are we? We are random ass people on the internet. It ain't none of our damn business. They don't owe us shit. They don't have to answer shit to us. If they're cooperating with police, you know what I mean? That's what matters. Why do people think that I don't get that. I'm going to get fired up today. I can already feel it. All of these cases get me fucking red. Excuse my language. In my opinion, the bar should have called Riley a cab, period. And why sell him another drink knowing and seeing he was already intoxicated? Well, I get that, but I think they probably do that all the time. People are in the bar drunk and drinking more and more, He hit his head. Now, I noticed in that video of him, he like kind of looked like he was holding his head for a minute and kind of like slouched over. It was really hard for me to see. But Irma says he hit his head, and concussions can cause dizziness, vomiting, blurred vision. In extreme cases, it can even cause a person to pass out or black out. Alcohol can intensify these effects greatly. Aries, let this be a tragic lesson. Never go to bars by yourself. Always have competent friends that can be trusted to have your back, and always have a backup plan. Good advice. It definitely could have been avoided. Hey, Donna, I've cried about this since I've heard. The buddy system is so important. Bieber, furthermore, Sebastian's parents don't know anybody anything, and these creators are playing on their emotions because they're vulnerable. Of course, every family has everyday problems. It's a blended fam. Well, I don't think people are wrong for like feeling suspicious of something or whatever. I think that that's human nature, and we shouldn't ignore those feelings when we get them. However, we also shouldn't act like, we're the end all be all and they have to answer us and twist I don't know. I don't like that. Okay, hold on, you guys, just one second. Okay, sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get my stuff and move outside because I'm streaming at my mom's house because the kids, they're loud, and my mom's sick, and it's even loud over here. So Snagglepuss says, I did so many foolish things when I was young out partying. Me too. Hitchhiking. I mean, I rode wasted in the back of a bread truck one time. And when I got out, apparently I thought that it was a good idea to take like 7 loaves of bread with me. The guy that the driver or whatever, who I hitchhiked from, goes to let me out, and I'd smashed all these bags of bread that were back in the back of the car, and I had some in my hands. It was a freaking mess. If I didn't look a hot mess, I could be on location for you in 2 minutes. Here's what I have to say about Chris Proudfoot. He seems to me he is an arrogant man who is trying to protect his reputation in the wrong way. I don't know that I feel anything nefarious. Well, I think the feelings are fair, right? Like the questions, I don't think that we should ignore things that stand out to us that don't look or sound right. However, we don't And it's also kind of like, and I think about this when I think about like these creators and some of the mess that they do with these cases. And it's like, you want to speak out and you want to say this is wrong because it's just like ruining true crime in ways. But then a part of me is like, well, how is it my place? You know what I mean? It's not my channel. It's not my business. But then again, when it's doing damage to these cases, I don't know. I don't know the answer, you guys, but it is really hard to sit back and watch some of the shit that goes down. Hey, Queen Bella. Hey, Deets. Good to see you. At the bar I worked at, we would try to interfere by Uber or feed them. The people saying his fraternity brothers were involved too, yes, they shouldn't have let him leave alone. However, they were pretty well on it, calling in the missing report by 1:30 a.m. Okay, so now I want to talk about a couple other things. Let me see. Oh my gosh, Pointer Lover, I'm so sorry. Oh no, Music City Mom. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll be better. You got little ears sometimes. Okay. Hey, Cammie. They are not responsible for calling cabs. It's not their place unless you've been downtown Nashville. It's crazy any day of the week. Now, don't feel like he should have been left alone at all. Tony says, I think he became disoriented after hitting his head. He was rubbing his head and neck. I thought I saw that too. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Lady V. Use all the cursey words, Allie. They're my favorite. Well, I'll have to give you a warning. Marshall says, it's a miracle I am alive. Exactly. Hey, Melissa, I'm doing okay. Yes, Cray Cray. I was wild. I'm telling you guys, I was truly wild. There's a video on my channel where I show pictures of myself in like my using days and my partying days. You can clearly see the difference. And I was so careless. Like, I don't know. I think it could happen. It could have happened to any of us. Music City Mom says the bar is on Broadway and 2nd, and there are a few doors. He went in one door and out a different one. So easy to happen. Just 7 loaves. Hey, Gina. When I was in my 20s, a girl went missing and they discovered she fell into the ocean while drinking with friends. Damn. Yeah, I think it's something too. I'm glad you're here, Gina, that we need to talk to our kids about. Like, I have a son who's 15, and eventually he's going to, I just think it makes me think I need to talk to him. Okay, so let me see what else I got for us to look at, because we got a bunch of things to go through. I'll show you. Okay, so what do we want to look at next? One thing. Carly Russell was sentenced to a year of probation after pleading guilty to faking her own kidnapping in Alabama. Russell knowingly gave police false information last year that she was abducted after checking on a toddler wandering near a highway. Is this justice, says Court TV. I'm sorry, but no. Probation, I think that's BS. I think she should have gotten more. Like, do you guys remember how that case blew up? And it's really unfortunate because oftentimes women of color, their cases are not reported on as much. That is just the truth. Women of color, actually many different minorities, and that's just the truth. And when one gets a ton of coverage, excuse me, and it goes like that, it's just unfortunate. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys really quick, Lyric and Devin. So Devin Clark and Lyric Woods, let me just pull up the article. I'm trying to get more information on this. I've actually been to the scene and stuff like that, but there was a law created, and I don't think I had talked about that here, so I wanted to mention that to you guys. So when it's not going to let me pull it up like that. That's okay. I can just tell you about it because I just read it. So when Lyric and Devin were missing, or after they were found, the person who shot them was a juvenile. And because he was a juvenile, they could not put his face on the news or on any other reports. So they've passed a law where now they can, because that made a big difference in finding him. They're looking for somebody, but nobody knows who they're looking for. So I thought that was it's a really good thing and wanted to mention it. Now, another thing, I told you guys I requested the 911 call from Madeline Soto's house. I also had requested any other calls from that residence in the last 5 years. And they responded with this. I wanted to show you. They said, the City of Kissimmee Police Department is unable to fulfill your request. The requested case number 911 audio is not available for release since it is currently open and active with our agency and is exempt per FSS, and then they cite the code, active criminal investigative information. It is recommended that you check back later. So I figured that would happen. I wrote back to clarify because I'm like, well, I also asked for any other calls to that residence. So are those also held because they're part of an open and active investigation, or are there none? So I'll let you guys know. Okay, another thing. Let's see. Ruby Frank stuff came out. I wanted to tell you guys about Joneson's Live on Sebastian. I thought it was really good. I did share it on my community page if you guys want to check it out. Let's see. Now, Madeline. There is a rumor going around that, and there's an article, and there are lots of TikTok videos and things coming out about the cause of death. I don't believe that this is true. I think that police would have given us this information had it been true when they had the press conference. Okay. But I will tell you that there are things going around. I don't believe they're true. I don't think we should even put a ton of weight into it. I was going to show you guys, but I really can't even get it to load correctly. So I've had several people reach out to me and ask about this. And I just don't think that, okay, hold on. I lost my train of thought looking at this, what I want to show you guys next. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about next because this is important anyways. So this is Amanda NENIGAR, and she is missing right now, and it's a really suspicious and bizarre situation. So I want to show you guys some stuff on that, and I might do something more with this in the future. So Arizona and California authorities search for missing woman after bizarre disappearance. Police in Arizona and California are asking for help as they investigate a missing 26-year-old who vanished at the end of February. The county sheriff is now sharing the bizarre details of how the car was found and where they are with the investigation. It's a cross-state search that has grown more mysterious by the day as detectives race against time to try and find even a clue as to where Amanda may be. My personal fear is that it's going to be a recovery and not a location of a person that's still alive, said the county sheriff. Their agency became part of the investigation in early March, a week after she went missing. According to authorities, she was last seen in Blythe, California on February 28th. The sheriff said she lives in that area, but frequently drives to Lopez County in Arizona, where other family members live. Her family reported her missing, and a week later, the sheriff said their department got a call that her Toyota Camry had been found by loved ones in the remote desert south of Cibola, about 45 minutes from Blythe. It's the way the car was found that the sheriff said is extra bizarre. The rear end of the vehicle was on a large boulder. When you have a vehicle that's abandoned and you don't have a kind of inkling where the person has gone or anything, it all seems very odd to us, and it's very concerning. He said they had to work backwards with Blythe police to try and piece together a timeline. The day before she went missing, she did call 911 after getting stuck in a ditch, but that ditch was nowhere near where her car ended up. We do know there was a 911 call that went to California Highway Patrol around that time frame stating she was in Anza and en route to Palm Springs. She never made it to Palm Springs. They've been doing ground searches. They had cadaver dogs. They say, is it a bigger concern to me right now? Of course it is. Our proximity to the U.S. border, the ruralness as a state. We're a couple hours from L.A., a couple hours from Phoenix, 3 to 4 hours from Vegas. We have no information at all. It's very mysterious to us. That's why we're asking for the public's help to try and find her or give us any information. Okay, so let me show you guys something. I grabbed a couple different articles, and then a video had came out today, or I saw the video today with the 911 call, and I grabbed that too. So people had reported on it, and they said her family misses her, and if she hears this, do whatever she can to come home. She's a beautiful girl. Last seen in Bliss, California. Car was abandoned in the remote area. The rear end of the vehicle was on a large boulder. So they did, let's see. She was last seen in Bliss. I just wanted to see if there was any other information in this I wanted to relay to you guys. She could still, her family released a statement to the outlet that relayed a message to the 27-year-old. She could still be out there lost. She hasn't connected to any phone since she called 911. Her family misses her, and if she hears this, do whatever she can to come home. So let me see. Tess found a bunch of information for us, which is really, it just makes this even more kind of mysterious. So she found an article where she was hanging out with some pretty sketchy people back in the day. And she even sent, here's the part of it. And this is the article, which we can look at, but I don't think I want to go too far into this. But as you see here, 19-year-old Amanda NENIGAR was transported to the hospital for medical reasons and will be discharged. This was during a major drug bust. So it's possible she doesn't hang around with a ton of great people. Okay. Also, the place her car was found is, Tessa sent the message and I forwarded it, said it was a very rural place. There only is about 300 people that live there. In 2010, it was 250 people in Cibola, Arizona. Hey, you guys coming in. I can't watch the chat. Hey, KPM and Hippie Chick. Hey, you guys. There is nothing in that area on the 10 freeway. Bliss is not a place I'd want to be stranded or missing. It's very close to the state prison. She is beautiful. Hey, Joneson, we were just talking about you in that live you did earlier, which I'm so glad you did because I wouldn't have seen. I mean, the parents have done a ton of interviews. There's just it's once a case is getting so much coverage, it's really hard to keep up and even to know the truth. So I appreciated that so much. Okay. Now let me keep showing you some stuff because we're going to get into some Ruby, Frank, Chad, Dave, some other things too. But so Tess says, lastly, the trip from Bliss, where she was last seen, to Cibola, where her car was found, is not that far. It's a very, very rural, middle of nowhere roads. Here's an overview of both routes. Also zoomed in to see lack of anything on the path. A good place to go missing. So you see here, this is Bliss to Cibola, both routes. And then zoomed in to show it's just farmland, fields. Basically. So let me grab though, before we move on, I want to show you this.
Arizona, now new developments in the case of a missing woman, 26-year-old Amanda NENIGAR. She was reported missing February 28th and last seen near the Arizona-California right by Blythe. Well, for the first time, we're hearing a 911 call she made.
Did y'all hear that? I said that at the same time as him. Blythe. Listen, when I'm reading these towns, I already know I'm not saying it right. And I know I sound ridiculous. And it's pretty funny because when I listen to other people talk about like crimes that took place where I live and they don't get the towns right, I roll my eyes every time, even though I do it. It's like pretty hypocritical, but sometimes, I mean, there's some town names that you just, I don't know. It can be difficult when you're hearing all these little crazy small towns that you've never heard of before with all these different spellings. And I guarantee you someone will always correct you, which is good. I mean, I would like to know how to actually say it, but okay.
Day before, asking for help after her car got stuck in a ditch.
Her car was
Thank
found
you,
days
Bailey's
later in
mom.
Arizona. By the time Arizona officers got involved, she was nowhere to be found. True Crime correspondent Brianna Whitney has been following this and has more.
For the first
Look how
time,
beautiful.
we're hearing 26-year-old Amanda NENIGAR's voice when she called police on February 27th after getting stuck in a ditch.
What do you see around you? Do you see just fields? Is that all you see?
Well, I'm like kind of stuck in a valley. Yeah, it's just a lot of mountains.
Amanda lives in Blythe, California, and during parts of the call with California Highway Patrol, you hear her giving location coordinates to the dispatcher and describing the area.
I'm to like a high mountain and I'm wearing pink.
Okay, so you're on Highway 78, you think, and then what would be the nearest cross street?
I'm not sure. I see a field.
I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one.
Amanda NENIGAR was reported missing the next day on February 28th after family couldn't give her and nobody had
Is that not so strange?
seen her. On March 7th,
Let me
the
know
La
if you've
Paz
heard of
County
this
Sheriff's
case yet.
Office tells us they officially found her car after searchers discovered it in a remote desert
Ooh,
area near
I didn't
Cebolla,
notice that
Arizona.
earlier. She has something hanging out the window, which isn't that what you do when you leave it on purpose?
Discovered it in a remote desert area in
Hey,
Cebolla,
Debbie.
Arizona. The rear wheels were on top of a boulder when it was found.
Exactly,
She's
Pepper.
never been out in that part of the desert ever. It's not a familiar area for her to go.
Her sister, Marissa NENIGAR, is frustrated after what she's learned. Once the La Paz County Sheriff's Office got involved, they were eventually made aware of Amanda's 911 call the day before she was reported missing. They were told the California officer was confused where Amanda was by the descriptions she gave and ended up looking for her along Highway 95.
I can't help but wonder, is there like a mental health issue or something going on? Because to call, like for this to happen just the day before, I don't know.
A good 30 to 40 miles away. But when Arizona deputies heard the 911 call, they followed the coordinates Amanda gave and ended up just a mile and a half from where her car was found.
I don't know why they didn't transfer her to dispatch in Arizona. She gave them her exact location and someone could have went and got her. They could have found her.
Marissa says there's been no trace of Amanda ever since, and
confusing a
none of
little
her
bit.
belongings were in the car.
Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Different people have tried calling her because maybe, I don't know, she
None of her belongings were in the car.
wanted to disappear.
Phone straight to
blocked
voicemail.
everyone. But no, that's not the case. Her phone is
Cosmic,
going
thank you for
directly
being
to
here.
voicemail.
The longer time goes on, the more dire Amanda's family knows the search and situation becomes.
What if she's being human trafficked, you know? Like, what if somebody kidnapped her? We just want to know that she's okay. We want
My God, beautiful girls and very sad. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about Chad Daybell and Ruby Frank stuff too. But before we get into that, I'm sure most of you guys are pretty familiar with that. She was 27. We're going to talk about a case that is also new to me. I actually so if you look on I was sending this to myself Thursday with Amanda's case. On Wednesday is when, because I had planned on doing a live just specifically about Amanda. And then I thought, well, I can just quickly throw in this story just to make you guys aware of it. So since I didn't do that, I'm going to do that now really quickly. So I will say, if there are little ears or anything like that, it's probably not good to hear this. So Michigan mom accused of beating daughter 8 to death allegedly gave bizarre reason why she did it. The 8-year-old daughter of Chelsea Dupron allegedly lay in bed for days wearing a diaper because of her injuries until she passed away, authorities said. Here is Miss Chelsea. Get a good look at her. So, and it does say content warning. The following article contains disturbing descriptions of child abuse. A Michigan mother is facing murder charges after being accused of fatally beating her 8-year-old daughter, then claiming otherworldly forces led her to harm the child, authorities allege. On Saturday at 5:19 a.m., Wayne police responded to a call from a Phyllis Street resident about a child who wasn't breathing. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office said in a statement, officers found the child unresponsive in a bedroom and suffering from multiple injuries to her head and neck, the prosecutor's office said. The child, identified as Lila Castle, was found wearing a diaper. And I'll click on the local news after we read through this. The child's mother, Chelsea Renee Dupron, 30 years old, allegedly said she put a diaper on her daughter because she had trouble getting to the bathroom because of her injuries. The child was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Dupron was arrested and charged with felony murder and first-degree child abuse. It is alleged that the defendant fatally assaulted the child, the prosecuting attorney's office said in a statement. The medical examiner said Lila passed away from blunt force trauma to the head. This is a quote from the prosecuting attorney. She says, the sheer brutality that innocent 8-year-old Lila suffered on March 13th of 2024 is really like nothing I've ever seen in my 5 years of handling child abuse cases. Police believe Dupron assaulted the child on March 13th, but no one called 911 until 3 days later on Saturday when the child was already deceased. The massive amount of swelling to her head and face left the child completely unrecognizable. Let me check on you guys for a minute. Hey, Sleuth Mom. I saw that you're going to be covering Chad's trial, which I am really excited for that and to watch it over there. So you guys make sure. I know the mods are dropping the links of everyone that's in here, but I'll drop them too. And you guys make sure to check them out. I don't know who all's been in here, but if I miss any, please look out for your girl and drop the link. Okay. Just want to check on you guys. How can anybody hurt a child? It is disgusting. It really is. Hey, Sleuth Mom. Okay. The massive blunt force trauma to the head and face that Lila suffered ultimately caused excessive brain swelling, which led to her death. Lila could have been saved if her mother or another adult who was allegedly present had called 911. Instead, Lila was just placed in a bed. Her mother went out to the store to get diapers because this child could not go to the bathroom. Diapers, heating pads, Vaseline, as well as some liquor for herself while her daughter is lying in bed dying a slow death. So she physically assaults her to the point where she can't function. There's so much swelling, she's unrecognizable. She can't make it to the bathroom. And she goes out and buys fucking diapers. Excuse my language. This pisses me off, though. Buys diapers and liquor? What the hell is wrong with these people, man? So listen to this. Initially, she told officers that her daughter fell down the stairs. She then allegedly told a different story, saying a spirit or ghost led her to hurt Lila after the child started acting crazy. Dupron was talking about how she was possessed. We're about to have Chad Daybell's trial. And that reminds me of that. When asked how she hurt her right hand and arm, Mom mumbled out loud, "This sounds crazy, but there's bad spirits. There was a lady and she came out of nowhere." Dupron allegedly told officers she didn't seek medical attention for Lila because she thought the child was getting better. Yeah, the heating pads and Vaseline were fixing her right up. On Tuesday, she appeared in court where she pled not guilty. She was ordered held without bond. We'll just look at a little bit, like one or two of the local news reports, and then we're going to move on to our next subject. There, unfortunately, is just so much happening. Mother charged for fatally abusing 8-year-old daughter claims child was possessed. Look at this baby, you guys. How do you do that? I'm taking care of an 8-year-old little girl right now. And I cannot imagine. That just, disgusting. Her little teeth. I don't know, you guys. It's freaking sad. But let's see if there's anything in here that I want to point out. Let's watch this. Come on now. Jordan, she was so dang cute.
30-year-old Chelsea Duperon charged with murder, with beating her 8-year-old daughter on Wednesday and leaving her to die days later rather than seek medical attention.
The sheer brutality that innocent 8-year-old Lila suffered on March 13th of 2024 is really like nothing I've ever seen in my 5 years of handling child abuse cases.
Assistant Wayne County Prosecutor Aaron Wilmoth says nobody called 911 until Saturday.
So it is quite different, reading it out of an article and then hearing it.
When 8-year-old Lila Lynn Castle was already dead.
The massive amount of swelling to her head and her face is completely unrecognizable. The cause of death, massive blunt force trauma to the head and face, which ultimately caused excessive brain swelling.
That brain swelling led to her death. Investigators say if only Chelsea or her boyfriend had called.
There she is. Riley says, I just requested Daybell's case file from his charges in 2021. Does anyone know why they did not include the complaint/indictment? Is that normal? What did you request? What did you ask for? If I was you, I would respond, email back the county clerk or whatever, whoever you're talking to, and ask if you can get the indictment. Oh, Natasha, I'm so glad you found it too. The best little community with the best, most good-hearted people. It's you guys. It's the chat that makes this the best little community, and it really is. I just asked for the full case file. I would email back and say, hey, chicken shite, and say, is there a reason that I didn't receive the indictment? And is there a way that I can get that? I usually, like a lot of times, so if I'm requesting something, I'll go to that county clerk website of whatever the county it is. And sometimes they will have it a very easy way of just like they have a little form you fill out and they'll email you. But sometimes they don't, and you have to just, what I do in that case is just email the county clerk, and they're usually very helpful. They, like, if you don't have everything you need or whatever, they'll kind of help you along the way to get what you want.
Called 911, Lila might have lived.
She could have been saved. Lila was just placed in a bed. Her mother went out to the store to get diapers because this child could not go to the bathroom. Diapers, heating pads, Vaseline, as well as some liquor for herself.
Tess, probably.
While her daughter is laying in bed dying, a slow death.
Duperon initially told investigators the child fell down the stairs, but then changed her story when police asked about the extensive swelling to her own.
Okay, if she fell down the stairs and she's that hurt, don't you take her to the damn hospital?
Right hand and arm.
She mumbled out loud, well, I swear to God, this is not me. This sounds crazy, but there's bad spirits. Duperon stated there was a lady and she came out of nowhere.
Investigators say the victim's boyfriend said he came home from work on Wednesday and found the child beaten, lying on the floor, water everywhere.
Duperon told him a story about a spirit causing her to do that to the victim. Duperon told him a spirit or ghost was causing the victim to act crazy. Duperon.
Look at her just sitting there while he's saying that. I'm going to rewind that for a second. Watch her face.
and said he came home from work on Wednesday and found the child beaten, lying on the floor, water everywhere.
Duperon told him a story about a spirit causing her to do that to the victim. Duperon told him a spirit or ghost was causing the
There was mention of another adult. Pepper, I'm kind of confused on that aspect.
victim to act
I don't
crazy.
know, but there was
Duperon was talking
something like
about
that in the article.
how she was possessed.
Yet nobody called 911. The suspect's Facebook page filled with photo after photo of her daughter, Lila.
Look at that, you guys.
Neighbors say they were concerned about what was after photo of her daughter.
Look at her. How bizarre is that? It's like Tiffany Lucas, if you remember her. And by the way, she has a hearing coming up, I think Monday. But you see her on Facebook and she's like Mom of the Year. You know what I mean? It's like I love them so much. They're my world, my kings, my babies. I love them, blah, blah, blah. And then they're doing this. I'm sick of, I don't know. I think Facebook is just toxic. It can be the damn devil. You don't have to prove to everybody in your life that you're happy and your kids are happy. And I feel like that's starting to be a red flag for me. If I see, because so many of these cases, we look at their Facebooks and it's just, I don't know. And I do not know what the Vaseline was for, Lady V. That makes no sense to me at all. She was a beautiful girl. Hey, Carla. Oh, Gina. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. That's freaking sweet. All right, let's keep listening.
Lila. Neighbors say they were concerned about what was happening at this home, so they looked out for Lila, never saw any signs of abuse, but were worried about what else they saw and heard here.
I could hear him yelling at her, not only the mother, but the child. You want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. I mean, who speaks to their kids like that? I went to the police with videos from my cameras, and I showed them the things that I saw was going on, and they told us if we ever saw abuse on the child to let them know.
Wow. Okay, so I actually didn't see this video. This is the first time I'm watching it with you guys. I had just read that article and one other article. So this neighbor, which you know what? Good. Because if you see something that you think could be abuse of a child, say something. And you know, whether somebody's having a mental health break, they don't need to be around their kids, or if they have a drug problem or whatever. You know, I don't judge. I'm not judging anybody when I say that. You guys know I'm in recovery. I have been down some really dark roads and been in some really low places. And I had friends in all the low places, but seriously. And you don't need to be in control and if you're going through that kind of addiction, I just don't think that you need to have your kids. Somebody else should be taking care of them that can, you know, give them what they deserve, because whether it's mental health, drugs, whatever, you can't possibly put them first and give them what they deserve. That's just the truth about it.
Oh, neighbor Jason Wilhoit remembering Lila instead of trying to watch out for her.
Fantastic kid, playing in the front yard, cartwheels, just a lovable kid, funny kid. Jokes. I'm just very talkative, cheery, always happy when she was over here.
In Wayne, Amy Lang, Fox 2 News.
Okay. The other article that was on there was just from here. Wayne mother charged with murder, child abuse, and death of 8-year-old girl. The prosecutor said, I cannot even describe to you how heinous these pictures were and how much they truly affected me. Saying, you know, talking about her having significant bruising, swelling, and being unrecognizable. She was completely unrecognizable. There was no way for anyone who saw a child in that condition to not think that she would need immediate medical care. And she's just looking all smug at her hearing. Well, anyways, let me check on you guys and then we'll move on. I have a niece who pretends her life is perfect on Facebook. She's pure trash. I know exactly what you mean, Iffy. I swear it's a red flag. If even when we look at like Shanann Watts in the Watts case, like you have this like hell. And now I'm not saying that Ruby that they had the perfect life either, or that their YouTube channel made them look like they had the perfect life at all. But to know what's truly going on behind the scenes of some of these people, it's pretty crazy to see. Overcompensating. Yeah. Hey, MK. Did I say hi? If not, how rude of me. I don't know. That's okay. Hey. People should be made to get a license to be parents. Honestly, this is just awful. Day after day, children being disposed of. I've thought about that so many times. It's like you have to have a license to drive. You have to have a license to have a gun. You have to have a license to vote or be registered to vote. You have to, but just anybody can pop out a baby. That's just the truth. And we know that CPS and DCFS and they... I'm sure there are some workers who do a really great job, but oftentimes they are part of the problem. And that's just the truth. Almost every case we talk about, there is some level of the system failing. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen, I've shared on my community tab, there is a, what do you call that? Why is my brain not working? A petition to hold officials and DCFS accountable in the Oakley Carlson case. I covered that case. It's been a really long time. I'm fuzzy on the details, but Sleuth Mom has been posting, and it doesn't need very many more signatures. So if you have not signed that, you should definitely check it out. It's on the community tab. Okay, so now let's talk about Chad Daybell. Hold on a second. I can't believe his trial's almost here. I've been waiting on this for so long. Since I really first started doing lives, it was one of the first things that I covered. I remember, and I still have it in my overlays, I made this because it was so confusing and people just truly could not understand and grasp every player and every person involved. And so I had like these big white boards from like a school project or something, and I made like this to explain to people who everybody is, because there are a lot of people in this. And this one is we're going to get to watch it. And I truly believe, at first I thought, we're not going to get anything new. We've already heard from Lori's trial, but Jen, the Ward case studies, she was on here with me yesterday. If you guys haven't checked her out, check her out. She kind of has me thinking a little differently now. Who knows what's going to come out? Who knows what Chad's going to say? Who knows what his attorney? He's very, he's pushy. He's pushed back against Lori even being called Lori Daybell. He calls her Lori Vallow. He's pushed back on Lori's friends. I really think that it's going to be very interesting, but I just cannot wait for the day that he has to pay for what he's done. I'm very curious. Will his kids be there? His kids believe that he's innocent. At least they did, a while back. Everyone's so excited for Chad Daybell. Me too, but I'm even more excited for Delphi. I'm looking forward to that too, for sure. A license is a good idea. Anyone wanting to be a real parent will jump through whatever loop to get licensed in the time leading up to birth. They did have a conference. I just watched it. Oh, they did? We could go check it out before we leave. Where is it at? Because I had seen that they were going to, but I didn't see anybody playing it. Yes, they're televising Chad's. As a matter of fact, the judge already has it scheduled. Let me see. Judge Werner. Chad Daybell. Let me show you guys. Let's see. It's like a set live that's scheduled because he has a YouTube channel. Judge Werner, and that's where it's going to be streamed. Straight from his YouTube channel. Let me do a search filter. Wait, I'm totally wrong. I'm thinking of the judge in Letitia's trial. What is wrong with me? Hold on. Judge Werner. I know y'all are probably correcting me, but I can't see you right now, so sorry. Let's see. I cannot find it, but I will share it with you guys on the community tab. But it's a set thing that's already set for when the trial starts on the judge's YouTube channel, which is kind of bizarre, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's go here. I love Nadie, and she's been covering this since the very beginning. I mean, I will never forget. If you guys have followed this I got something on the screen. But he, you know, finding them in Hawaii. Lori, where's your kids? That was Nadie. And let's just watch a minute of this because
it's a complex case involving multiple states, several law enforcement agencies, a lot of evidence, and thousands of investigative hours. Now, after more than 4 years, the trial for Chad Daybell is finally scheduled to begin in Ada County on April 1st. Here are some frequently asked questions and answers to get you up to speed on the case that has made headlines around the world. Who's on trial and why? Chad Daybell is on trial, charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and insurance fraud. He and his wife, Lori Vallow, along with her brother, Alex Cox, are accused of killing Lori's children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow, and Chad's former wife, Tammy Daybell. Alex Cox died in December of 2019. Chad was indicted by a Fremont County grand jury in May of 2021 on the following charges: first-degree murder for Tammy Daybell, first-degree murder for Tylee Ryan, first-degree murder for J.J. Vallow.
I just don't understand how, like, his kids could even believe that he was more involved. I truly think he's going to act like he was just so smitten by Lori and she fooled him and manipulated him and poor Chad the victim or something like that. I truly believe that's what he's going to do. And I think he's definitely going to turn on her. In my opinion, like I said, his attorney will not even refer to her as Daybell. I mean, for me, I don't even see the point of taking this to trial. I guess, like, if you have no other choice, you might as well, because you're going to be stuck there forever anyways. But it's like, dude, you're not getting away with this. Why are you wasting the time? Just like Stephen Stearns. Why are you even going to trial? I mean, you're going to be found guilty because of the evidence that you obviously know they have, because it's in all the arrest affidavits. I mean, I don't
conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for Tammy Daybell, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for Tylee Ryan, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for J.J. Vallow, and insurance fraud. When and where did these alleged crimes occur?
Yes.
Investigators believe Tylee Ryan was killed September 9th, 2019.
Let's not forget, Tylee Ryan, she wasn't just killed. She was killed. She was burned. She was dismembered. She was found in mounds of flesh. This child, what they did to her was so horrific. I'm sorry. I feel like hang them both outside in front of everybody. I know that's like a controversial stance or whatever, but no. Yes, they destroyed that baby. They absolutely did. It's just disgusting. And don't forget, and this is another interesting part, we found out in Lori's trial that they tested, remember, they got a tool from the shed, and there was stuff that had DNA evidence and also hair. And they tested that against Melanie. Gibb. I'm sorry, but I want to know why no one else has been charged. And even out in Arizona, we know Lori Vallow is being charged with the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux, but why isn't Melanie being charged, his wife, who was definitely in on it and part of it? I mean, we heard the messages in court. If you listen to Lori's trial, the way that Melanie talked to Chad, Melanie, her niece, not her friend, the way that she talked to Chad, like he was her father. I don't know. Like you could absolutely tell that she was seeking guidance from Chad and Lori, the all-knowing freaking, you know, whatever.
Vallow died
God and
on
goddess
or
or
around
whatever.
September 23rd of the same year, and Tammy Daybell died October 19th of 2019 in her Salem home. The remains of Tylee and JJ were found buried on Chad Daybell's property on June 9th of 2020. If the alleged crimes happened in Fremont County, why is the trial being held in Ada County? District Judge Stephen Boyce granted a change of venue motion in October.
And, which we don't have to watch all this. I just wanted to talk about it with you for a minute since it's coming up. But Ann, let's not forget, why was Tylee treated like she was, and then JJ was just simply in his pajamas and wrapped in plastic? It's very bizarre. Will we ever get the truth? Ever? I'm sure it's not going to come from Chad. And I know that we've gotten some from the trial, but we still don't have all the answers. We have text messages of Chad telling Melanie that and Lori and them all talking about how he's going to, you know, spiritually increase pain for their kids and make the kids uncomfortable and just the most bizarre, weird, sick shit. Could you touch on my above statement? Let me see. Why did it take forever for these two angels' bodies to get released to the grandparents, but Maddie's body was handed back and allegedly cremated already? I'm not happy about it. That's a good point. Oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot. There is a new interview with Larry, and it is so good. I want you guys to see this because it's really interesting. JJ Vallow's grandfather calls Chad Daybell a wimp of a man and wants him to get life in prison. Let me show you guys this because it's, you know, he talks about how his feelings towards Chad are so different than his feelings towards Lori. And I found that really interesting. And I think that if these grandparents haven't stolen your heart, I don't know, have you been watching? Because oh my God, when they came out of Lori's trial and they were playing that We Will Rock You, JJ's favorite song, like Larry is just, both of them, they're just incredible people. And they have been
Larry, if you can already
like such amazing
believe that
voices
Chad
for those
Daybell's
babies.
trial is, what, a week and a half away.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts headed into that?
You know,
I spilled coffee all over my clothes.
Nate, I was angry at Lori that she would do something like this, do something like this. And I really don't have a lot of feelings about Chad. I'm angry at him.
We love you back.
I certainly share no love for him, absolutely. But I just it's a really a different set of feelings. It's like I'm a participant. I know what he did. I know what they did. I know what Circle did.
The Circle, which is more than Lori and Chad.
It's just
Alex.
I don't think the intensity is there.
Melanie Gibb, I'm looking at you, lady, and I will never stop speaking about the disgusting shit that you played a role in.
I'm fairly confident. Honestly, I'm totally confident
I don't
that
think
he'll
so,
be
Bella's
found
mom.
guilty. I don't know if he'll get the death penalty. I don't know if he'll get, I assume, life imprisonment, and without the possibility of parole or leniency or anything like that. For that, I'm grateful. I would be grateful, but emotionally, It's almost like I don't feel the that I had with Laura. Laurie did was the most despicable thing in the world, and what Chad has participated or what he beyond
100% agree. We're going to get
is
into that in just a second, Mayla's mom. Some of
is
it.
it makes sense, but it doesn't have the answer that I had at Laurie. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, probably because you knew her, right? And she was.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we trusted her.
Right.
We absolutely trusted her. Chad, obviously, we didn't know. And honestly, other than seeing you court, I really don't know him.
Right.
But do I think he's despicable? Absolutely. Do I think he killed and was involved in killing people? Absolutely.
You mentioned, Larry, that you think the jury will give him the life sentence if he's found guilty. Do you want him to get the death penalty?
You know, there's certain things in life that I think are worse than death. And I think life in prison without the possibility of getting out and dying in prison.
How do you guys feel about
maybe
that?
worse than death.
I kind of agree with him. You know, I think life in prison may be worse than death. I'm curious what you guys think.
Because when you start killing children and you go in prison and general population and so forth, that's not a good place for men that murder children. And I certainly don't wish him the best.
Are you surprised in a way that it is going to trial, that he hasn't changed his plea or done some sort of agreement?
I think if you took a picture of Ed April 1st in court, and you took found a picture of him 4 years ago when he was in court, I don't think there's a change. His demeanor hasn't changed. His attitude hasn't changed. I still think he's
I got all jumbled up on the other side of this video. There was a video playing. I couldn't stop. I lost the video we were watching. I couldn't get back to it to pause. Okay. I do think he'll turn on Lori. I definitely do. I agree, especially for someone who doesn't value their life, not specifically speaking of Daybell with that. I used to be pro death penalty, but I don't know anymore. I agree too. Depends on the defendant. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'd be perfectly pleased if they both got the death penalty. But I do think that a life of suffering and misery would probably be worse. He will write so many thunderous books in there. So Ruby Franke, I have not followed that super closely, but today a ton of stuff has been released. Matter of fact, if you just Google it, let me just get a Google and show you, because I did that a minute ago and I saw so much stuff that has came out. Now, an article came up from Crime Online that I wanted to show you, but I remember that when it happened, a lot of people were like wanting to know what was going on with her husband. Well, his interview has came out, and I was watching that earlier, and he claimed that he wasn't there because of his own addictions to pornography. Okay, let me show you guys though. Hold on. This is when you Google it. Evidence released in child abuse case of YouTubers. Evidence released shows severity of abuse in Franke and Hildebrandt case. Her son seen begging for help as shocked husband reacts. Videos show police coaxing petrified daughter out of the closet. Police raid safe Ruby Franke's kids were locked up. I mean, there's just been a ton of stuff that's been released because the case is done, you know. I love Mr. Larry too. He's so sweet. Sounds like a playground sometimes. Well, based on Letitia's lawsuit, she's not having too much fun. Let's look at this. Oh my God almighty. Horrific injuries of the children. Body cam of moment. Cops find the child in the closet. On Friday, officials released various pictures and videos related to the case against 8 passengers YouTuber who was sentenced last month to at least 4 years in prison for abusing her children. Oh, another thing I noticed in the husband's interview, they asked about Hildebrandt, and he was like, just talking about how amazing she was, basically. Have you guys seen that? I'll grab the link. I have the link, actually, because I thought if we wanted to look at it for a second, we could. But after a neighbor, Frankie's 2 children were staying with Hildebrandt at the time. Hildebrandt directly cared for the children, but police determined Ruby was aware of the abuse as she filmed a YouTube video in Hildebrandt's basement 2 days before the August 30th incident, which entailed Frankie's 12-year-old son fleeing to a neighbor's home. After a neighbor called 911, police went to Hildebrandt's home and located a 10-year-old child who was also malnourished. Oh my God, you guys. A month after her sentencing, KSTU obtained surveillance footage from the August 30 incident. It shows a boy ringing a doorbell and walking away, and nobody answered. Before leaving, a neighbor stops him and asks what the issue is. The boy responds that he needs someone to contact the nearest police station. The neighbor instructs the child to have a seat before calling the police as neighbors give him food and water. If he says Hildebrandt had them all brainwashed, that was her MO. B Crumbs, I watched it. She would come highly recommended by the church leaders, I think. I was shocked at the way that he was talking her up. I don't know why, but Jordan, she has not reached out to me anymore. The last message I got from her was a Christmas card, like a virtual Christmas card. And right before that, she had, and I never showed this because I didn't want to like bring attention to her or anything like that. But she had just previously before that sent me a really long message. Maybe I'll go through that with you guys sometime. I don't know, but it was about the conditions at the jail and how awful it is and how you need to look into this, that, and the other in the jail. And it's pretty interesting because it lines up with that recent lawsuit or complaint that she was trying to file. I so enjoy hanging out with you guys and just talking about so many different things. Some of them are very tough. Even these photos are tough to see. But you know what? I'm of the belief that it needs to be talked about and seen, which I told you guys, I really was like questioning myself and why I even like true crime. And I came to the conclusion that I need to know what's going on. Like I need to prepare. I'm the kind of person I need to plan. If I'm going to go out and do something, I don't want to do it like spur of the moment. It gives me anxiety. I need to know what is going on. I need to know what's out there. And I need to, like, I don't know. That's just where I'm at. Now, do I also care? Of course I do, you know, but I think the initial interest comes from wanting to know, almost to like protect or be aware of the possibilities of the shit that goes on out there. It was all about money. The Mormon church contacted her with her counseling service. What's wrong, Tisha? No one likes your idea of fun, you know, shit flinging and period painting. Yeah, but apparently, you know, she everywhere she goes, these officers are just horrible, which I told you guys, that jail, there are some pretty bad reports on some of the stuff that goes on in there. Where did I see what, Iffy? Oh, you guys make my day, Rainbow Mom. Where did I see what? And I'll share it with you, whatever it was. Contracted. Okay, B Crumbs, I gotcha. In addition to forcing her son's head underwater, Ruby admitted to hog tying him with handcuffs that were tied together as he lay on his stomach. The cuffs Franke used on her son damaged his muscles and tissue when they cut through his ankles and wrists. Like Ruby, Jody said they tried to convince Franke's son that he was evil and that the abuse was an act of love. At sentencing, Ruby blamed her actions on paranoia and claimed she believed the world is evil. After her son attempted to run away in July, his hands and feet were regularly bound. Binding included being tied to an adult and 2 weights, a statement detailed. She also withheld food and water from her daughter in addition to injuring her at least twice by forcing her to complete physical tasks. One of those instances involved having the girl work outside barefoot during the summer. Meanwhile, Jody said she forced the girl to jump into a cactus. I mean, what the hell is wrong with these people? What did Iffy say? Let me see. Oh, pics. I can't feel sorry for Tisha either, you guys. But I will say she changed a little bit. Like, so I messaged her, and I never talked about this, and I will never do a video on this because, like I said, I don't want to bring attention to it. I don't want to, but just like a little secret hidden in this live if you're here and happen to hear it. I messaged her and I said, I think you need to tell the truth. I don't think that anybody, I said, you don't understand the way that your crime has affected the entire world. And I truly believe that until you can be 100% truthful and hold yourself accountable and, you know, help other people understand what happened, you will never be able to fully grow and move on. It's important. And she wrote back and she was like, well, who the hell are you? I don't know you anything. You know, you don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, well, fair point, I guess. But, you know, I forget what I said, but I kind of pushed back about how she needed to be truthful for once. And she came back to me and said, you know, if you think that I don't have regrets, you're wrong. If you think I don't go to my cell at night and cry and wish that things were different, you are wrong. But I'm in prison and I can't show that. I have to be tough. And it was the first time I had ever heard any amount of accountability from that woman, which was really interesting. I need a place like this to be able to talk about this stuff in a non-sensationalized way. Me too. And you guys are the best. Thank you. Yes, Natasha. So I had reached out to her on the Getting Out app. It was actually, you know, not that I necessarily even wanted to ever talk to her, but it was because at the time she had been transferred and we didn't know where, and it wasn't made public. You guys, I'm sorry. But it wasn't that I necessarily wanted to talk to her. It was just that we didn't know where she was, and someone had reached out and said I found her on this app, and it was just that's kind of how it started. And I just decided I put out a video about like prison communication, the different apps they can use, and also talked about my communication with her a little bit. But can y'all hear me now? But yeah, I just didn't want to. I took the video down because I felt like I lost my train of thought because I didn't think you guys could hear me. I'm still not sure if you can hear me. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, it was just kind of something that worked out, not necessarily something that I wanted to do, right? Because I don't want to give her attention. So that was the reason I took the video down. And I don't really talk about it. But, you know, if anybody has any questions, I don't mind to be open and transparent about the whole situation. I don't want to give like access to her and what she did and give her like a voice or a way to get her messages out to the world. So I don't know. It's just something that I was really torn on, honestly. We hear you, Allie. I want to troll you so badly and tell you that you're muted. Can y'all hear me? Are you there, Allie? We don't hear you. Thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. And I just appreciate all you guys. Well, I guess we're done. I'm kind of wrapping it up there. I just wanted to talk about a little bit of everything. Um, I put in a ton of requests today of a few different cases, and I tried to re-request any previous calls to the Soto home. So if anything comes about with any of that stuff, I'll let you guys know. Jen and I are going to get back to the calls this weekend. I just downloaded June so I can make that video for us because we still have to go through June. We are waiting on video calls. We are waiting on the last calls that she ever made from that jail, which have not been released because there was a little bit of misinformation about that out there, and I'm not really sure how that happened. But anyways, thank you guys for being here. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you to the mods. No, I like listening to you, Alex, so we are not done. Well, I mean, my computer died, so I can't play anything. So I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys. But, oh, thank you guys for dropping those links. And thank you for being here and listening to me just go on and on about whatever. And me too, Debbie. You guys are the best. And don't go. Yeah, I hope you have a good weekend. What are you guys gonna do? It's rainy and gross here today. And during my live, I spilled freaking coffee all over my outfit, which is annoying. But I think I'm gonna relax and finish Griselda. If you have not seen Griselda on HBO, it is so damn good. It is about, and I'm really gonna let you guys go after this, but you know I can go on and on saying goodbye. But it's about Griselda Blanco, and she was like a kingpin. She came from Colombia. And, you know, actually at the beginning, they have a quote from Pablo Escobar that says, he was more afraid of her than any man or something like that. But anyways, it's a 6-episode series and it's true story. And there's a ton of, you know, true crime. It's just very, very good. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Yes, it's so good. It really is. Can I recommend Sleuth Mom's stream from today? It's worth the replay. Absolutely, you can. We love Sleuth Mom's channel here. All the channels that I drop, I truly do. I think there are some really great channels on here and try to share them with you guys. You can always recommend whatever you want. Oh, Beaver. I need to drop her link, even though she hasn't been going live as much. But all right. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for everything. And I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll probably see you tomorrow. I'm ignoring my husband. He can drive. You guys crack me up with the husband stuff. But okay, go enjoy your families and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.